Hey guys, this is going to be the reading for the Cancer female in a coupled relationship for the winter of 2018 into 2019. Hey guys, I wanted to take a minute here just to kind of acknowledge what I've done for this winter season. I managed to change up a few things. I vamped the logo a little bit. I actually got Aaron at Active Dynamics here. He has managed to make my intro for me, so I'm very thankful for that. He did a great job. I couldn't have done it. So thanks, Aaron, for that. I appreciate it immensely. And also to Ikson for my theme music. It's beautiful, upbeat, happy tunes. I can't get enough. I am now going to his page because it's just that great. It's all good gravy stuff. So I couldn't have revamped my winter season without these dudes around me. So I'm lucky enough to have them in my corner. So thanks guys. Ikson, great work. Aaron, thanks again, great work. So take care guys, enjoy your season. And Ikson, if you ever want a reading, just hit me up, man. Just email me. I will kick in and we'll set something up. In the meantime, take care, have fun you guys, and enjoy the readings. Okay, so I have 3 cards for the overall energies. We're going to wrap this thing up in a vague way, and we'll re-wrap it at the end in a more specific way. And then I work my way into the energies basically, and then we go into the love and sex side of things, see if we can uproot some stuff there and see if that helps you move forward. There is, over this season, man, there's a bunch of ripping apart of relationships, and over this time of winter we should be getting into new relationships, or at least been settled for a while into a new area. So hopefully this is the case here. A lot of these readings are pretty rough. So hopefully this ain't that bad. Now, for the general energies here, the first card we get for the Cancer female in a coupled relationship is expansiveness. So there's a vast difference here between the Cancer single and the Cancer in a partnered relationship. I feel like the Cancer single female is looking to expand, but she's in the negative zone here. She can't seem to get out of that. Now, in the coupled arena, right, it's a little easier to be a little more positive because you got someone there. I feel like she's dipping into that expansiveness and working her way forward. So this is good. There's an involvement there. To the left, we have authenticity. So this Cancer female stopping long enough to think about how authentic she is. She is moving forward from where she was last season, because we were dipping back into the pool here where we were not taking enough time for ourselves to nourish ourselves. And I feel like we're understanding the weight of that, the effect of that on us as individuals. We're seeing that we do need to do that. So it's getting our ass in gear to make that happen, right? And then to the right, we have individuation. So this is good for the Cancer female in a relationship because, as negative as that may sound, individuation within a relationship is very much the unlatching of any codependent issues that we may have, and realizing that we are an individual, and this is a good, healthy place to come from as I see it so far. Now, we'll go into the energies a little more specifically, see where that takes us. The first card I get is the Ace of Cups. So this is good. We want to start out. That is love. That is the beginning of love. That is I'm ready for love. That is I am full. Right? So this is not, if I remember correctly, last season was not where she was coming from. She was starting to lose. Her cup was getting dumped. She was dumping her cup, not realizing it. Okay, not taking aware. So she is now, she's like, no, I'm going to fill my cup. She may be just right on the verge, on the edge there. But she's realizing it, and she's making sure she's first. Okay, so this is good, very good progression for the Cancer female, because she's not gonna sacrifice herself for anyone anymore. Even in the partnership, you can't afford to do that, because that's when you lose your balance. And then next to that, we have the Ten of Cups, which is huge. That's the happily ever after, right? So not only are we in love and feeling love, we're full of it. Good stuff, though. Going outward, we're full of love and devotion, and we're taking it outward. And we have a good family life. Everything around us, rosy, good, and great, wonderful. So things are going really good. It's a good vibe. Okay, we can't get much better than that. And then we continue in the Cups energy. So there's a lot of emotional stuff going on here, but there's a bit of confusion, because the Seven of Cups is about options, things. What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And I'm confused. There's too many things going on. So I feel a sense of grounded, loving energy, and that is the baseline here. So when we have that, it's not too scary. The Seven of Cups is basically we have options here, and we got to make up our mind what we want to do. And the Cancer female, she can be flung by this. She can kind of overanalyze and overthink things. So she's got a sense here where that's what's going on. Okay. The last card in the first line is the Page of Pentacles. So that's gaining knowledge, right? She is confused, and there's too many options here. I got to start figuring out and putting my knowledge into these areas and figure out exactly what I want to do and where and how and why. Okay. So this is a very good baseline to come from for basic energies. Seems like there's a lot of stuff up in the air here. She's got to settle things down and put it in order and get moving forward. So she just doesn't know exactly where she wants to take that, but she's going to find out. Okay, so the second row here in the Dreamer's Tarot, we get the Three of Cups under the Ace of Cups. So that means I'm feeling lively and abundant, and I like to go out in social circles, and I have a lot of friends around me that feel lively and abundant as well, and it's all good and great and wonderful. So a sense of this female having a life outside of a partnership that is very joyous as well. So I'm getting like really happy, really satisfied in that. That is really feeding her to a high degree to help her keep her cup full. So she's, unlike the single, the Cancer in a coupled relationship here has got a lot of good energy surrounding her and good people on her vibration, right? We're all in a positive mode, and we're all happy, and it's all, it's all good. Now the next card we get is the Ace of Wands. And I feel like they're going, this is her contribution. She's the one that in the groupings to make sure the truth comes out. She likes to spit it out, and she likes to detect it in other people. And if they're not telling it, she's going to get underneath it and make sure that they do. So there's a little bit of a truth seeker that we have here in the Cancer female couple. She's very much focused on gaining the truth. And to the degree that I feel like this is something, somewhat of a goal of hers, is to make sure that everybody's on board here. Very highly attuned to people that are kind of blowing smoke, right? We're going to expose that, and we won't have that. Like very much, almost like in your social circle, you're the mother hen. You're going to make sure everybody's toeing the line here, nobody's undercutting anybody else, and it's almost like there's a maintenance going on to this truth seeking. But the next card under the Seven, no less, right, the confusion, is the High Priestess, and that is dipping into your instinct. The universe is going, we need to dip in our instinct. There's a reason we don't trust it as much, is because we don't exercise it as much. We need to use it more, utilize it, get rewarded, then we know more how it works, right? If we keep avoiding our instinct, we are not going to be good at using it, and therefore we're not going to get where we need to go quicker, faster, stronger, right? And this is what the universe is trying to do. So there's a little bit of an apprehension here to use our intuition. We're satisfied with the truth, and we've gotten solid and sturdy in that, and that's what me. But sometimes we don't get the truth of a situation. We have to use our instinct, and it's very much a reluctance here, and that is what is causing confusion for the Cancer female. She's going, you know what? I just can't suss this out, and I can't get a straight answer from anyone. So how am I going to do it? That's your gut. So that's what you have to start utilizing, and you're going to have to maybe take a few gambles before it pays off here, and then you'll start. It's like training wheels, right? You got to get in there and get moving and using it, and the more you utilize it, you'll get slapped and you'll pull your fingers back a little sooner, and you'll realize what's going on. So that's the thing, is they're going, we can't get good at it if we're not using it. So utilize it, and we will be shown. It's like, the bumpers in a bowling alley. We'll put the bumpers on when you're starting, and then slowly you just won't need it anymore. You'll be right down the center, and we'll be flying on truth and happiness and harmony. That's what they're saying. We got to utilize our instinct, because we're dependent too much on people's words, and eventually that's going to trip us up and let us down. So we've got their trust right now. We need to lean more on the side of intuition and dip into that, and that will bring about good results. Not only because you will have that to utilize in the future, and that is unseen, unheard. You always know. You don't have to poke around to get that. It's not laborious, right? We just get in there. We use our instinct. Yeah, it don't feel right. And we make action from that. And the Cancer female does this on an unconscious level a lot of times. We're just not crediting ourselves for it. And therefore not having the, what do you call it? Not pride, but not having the faith or the ability to think confidently about the instincts. So we go, well, I'm going to ask this person that and dig around there, and when we can just use our instinct and discern for ourselves. So that's what they're wanting you to do, is dip into that. More knowledge in that way. Under the page, which is the knowledge, is another page of swords. So we're really trying to ease our way into something here. There's a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that we are that is on our mind. And the Page of Swords is about contemplation. And who's she looking at? The High Priestess. She's like, should I or shouldn't I? Like, can I go off this feeling or what? So she's going to have to learn to do that. And that's that jump, the jump you take from suddenly you're the researcher and you're getting all the facts. You get, okay, now I come to a decision, boom, and it's based on bare facts and you can't deny it. But when you're working with your instincts, you don't feel stable with that. Those answers I just don't know, because nobody will admit, or I can't find out, and this is bothering her. It's not a solid state thing, but she's going to have to use it and take her training wheels off. That's what they're saying. Take the training wheels off. We will go a lot further, a lot faster, a lot quicker if we do this. If not, it is going to really hinder us in the future, because we're going to need this. They're going gift, but we're going to need this insight to move forward successfully in all areas. Talking work, family, whatever. We got to use this, because it's really detrimental to forward movement. Okay, so on top of the Three of Cups here, I have the Lenormand. I brought out that to kind of separate between the base energies and the romantic personal energies. So the first card I get there is 25, the engagement ring. So if we're talking about Cancer female couples here, we could have some of you guys getting engaged, making it official, right? Or getting into the mode where we're making it official next year, whatever. So there's an engagement ring, but that also can mean meetings. Now it's on top of the Three of Cups, which is celebrations and gatherings with others. So that really is the epitome of that. So we may have some mergers going on, meaning that maybe in a business sense, or we may have some mergers going on in a way that we are merging with people in our social circles to help elevate and illuminate certain things in our life, okay? Because when we talk about mergers in a friendship kind of way, these are the kind of the seasonal people that come and go for a reason, and that's what I feel here lightly. There may be one or two of these in your midst. They'll come into your flow, teach you a lesson, and then off they go. So we're not, deeply rooted in these people, but fun and grounded and great nonetheless. But there's a reason that they're there. And for those that are already married, there is a meeting of the minds that wants to happen here on a marriage level. Feel like within the marriage, we are wanting to go one step deeper, right? What do you do once you're married? Well, you get past the mundane part. And I feel like there may be some people here that have been married for a while that are in the mundane, and we're trying to do something different, get something different, be more passionate, be more this, be more that, revive things. That's what I feel like the ring is. You know, we're merging together to focus on each other to kind of make things glow again, right? So that's the sense I get. Now, under the Ace of Wands, which is about truth and action, actually, I was reading that like the Ace of Swords. That's interesting. I saw that as the Ace of Swords. It's actually the Ace of Wands. So we're talking about truth here, which is interesting. Give me a moment. Okay. I'm going, do I need to be corrected? They're like, well, we have we have a sense here. That wand is cracking through, making action through that rock, right? And I said, well, she's getting to the bottom of things. And they're going, yeah, and why is she doing that? So she can take action forward. I said, okay, there we go. That's the missing link. So for whatever reason, I saw that as a sword, and I brought out all this truth stuff, but not that it doesn't apply. I feel it heavily applies. But there's just now there's action here. Because we are in a state here where we're confused with the Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Wands is coming forth. We're getting inspired by our groupings of friends, and it's helping us to move forward in different areas of our life, whether it's private, personal. Sometimes you go out with your girlfriends, you talk about your personal life. Sometimes you go out with the girlfriends, you talk about work. And these are all in a good way, I feel, spurring her to action. Okay, that's what I missed there. And then the High Priestess is that thing. You're not going to get a direct answer. You're not going to get a direct yes. You're going to have people with all differing opinions, so you're not going to get a consensus that matches. You're going to have to use your instinct, and that's okay. That's where I was missing. They're going, yep, okay. And then the Page of Swords is that contemplation and that time that she sets aside to do that, to make those decisions. I feel like some it could be business, some it could be love, some it could be family, whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on for these Cancers and couples. There's a lot of things in the air, and that just, I mean, the Seven of Cups, it's all there. So it may be in all those areas for that one person as well. So the ring, okay, still the same. Mergers. And then on top of the Ace of Wands, which is the action, is the 13, which is a child. And the child here is about naivety, okay? You got to watch. There's no real negative cards around this, and there's a lot of action around this. So watch that we might act out of naivety, okay? So we may get some information from our friends that we act out on, but we may not have used our instinct in that way. So be careful of that. And also 13 is about imagination and creation of things in our mind, okay? So when we have that next to the action, we got to watch what's being created in our mind, and it's not based on fact. Because if we have a creation in our mind where people, and we may just throw out a light essence of something we feel might happen, and then suddenly we get a validation from one friend, then another friend agrees, and then, oh, this one don't, but that one does. And then suddenly it becomes concrete, it becomes the truth. So we got to watch for that. Because I feel like 13 is like that childlike innocence of letting all that stuff run around in your mind. But not only that, it gets big and huge, like she's building a castle there. Started out with toys, a book, and now she's building a castle. And it can just grow to big proportions, and in a bad way as well. I don't feel it's hugely bad. I just feel we're jumping to conclusions based on other people's opinions. And again, and that's what the universe is going, no, she got to use her instinct here, because she's not going to get a direct answer. We cannot give it to her. This is part of her path of learning how to use her instinct. She's not using it enough, and she's not, you know, she's wobbly. You know, we got the training wheels on, we're wobbling, and we can't take it off. We don't want to take it off. So we have to do that. We have to jump and make a decision based on her instinct and see how she flies. That's what it's going like. That. So on top of the High Priestess is interesting because we have the 17, which is the 17. We have 17, which is a storks, and we're talking about movement, okay? Could be a literal move. So are we making huge decisions here about life and family and love? considering a move. Is that something that is confusing us, right? Because that in itself, I feel, could have enough upheaval to really encompass the Seven of Cups in this reading. It's like, we got to move. It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to take that choice. Why? The next card under the Page of Swords about contemplation is 39, the dice. So gambling, taking a risk here. And that's what they're going. We need to take a risk based on our instinct, but we have to have enough faith in that instinct to move forward. It's like 51%. Try it out, see what happens, right? It is going to feel like a gamble. It is going to feel like a risk. Why? Because we don't have all the facts. That's what it is designed to do, to help you use and hone in on your instinct. So that's why this situation is there. And it is not going to be an easy decision. And that's why. Because we're supposed to jump to our instinct and really take that into account highly. We don't let our instinct rule without our mind and our brain alongside, and we don't let our brain rule without our heart and our instinct there as well to overlook things. We got to take all of it into account and jump forward and see how things go. And the more that we take that risk and then we discern to a higher degree where that instinct sits. So that's really what they're wanting the Cancer female and a couple to do. Work on your instinct, because that's what we're pushing. And it's not going to be easy for her, but for most are seeing clearer at this point is what the thing is. We're pulling up the back end of the instinct here with the Cancer female and a couple. She's put it off for a long time. It's not caused her too much trouble, though it has caused her a lot of stress. Okay. So as we dip in now to the romantic energies, we get the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is about, on the romantical side, that's a mirror. So you may have or be in a relationship with someone who is your mirror, meaning a mate or someone who is vibratory the same. We're reflecting the same issues. We kind of have the same ideas. We're kind of growing at the same rate. It's all good and groovy. So this is what's going on. And that's why this merger, we want to deepen it. We're both feeling we want more from this relationship. So we're both willing to do that. And we're both willing to put effort in. So it's not unbalanced. So this is good. And on top of the naivety, the 13, we have the Eight of Wands, which is interesting because the Eight of Wands is about having a karmic tied relationship where someone is feeling, and I'm just saying, yeah, everything's balanced, everything's good. And it's like where someone usually feels more than the other. So we may have a flux in our relationship here where that's going on. Now, as we move forward, this is interesting. On 17, the move is another move card. We got the Six of Wands, which is packing up and moving. So what's going on here? Okay, the next card under the taking a risk is the Five of Cups. Everything's kind of throwing me off here. We had all this lovely feelings, all these things, and we're starting to think we got lots of stuff in the air. And, we're deepening things. We got our imagination going, and then all of a sudden there's a big move that could come here, and there's a risk that needs to be taken. And why? We have a good, solid romantic foundation with someone who is at our level. The Eight of Wands here is kind of stepping out on things. It doesn't make sense. Someone's maybe not happy on the romantic side is what I'm getting. We have someone that's being lazy and someone that's not happy. So either way, we're kind of out of our depths here. Not in the right mode. So we may be, yet there's a lot to draw from. There's a lot to draw from here, but we may be getting sloppy with it. And just not putting in to the relationship and all this happy stuff. Maybe the Cancer female is really going out and having fun with friends, but in the relationship, there's just kind of a stale thing going on here. Not to a high degree, just feel it's kind of mundane. But then the 17, so are we having a situation here where we might be getting an offer from work that we have to leave, physically leave for work? That's one scenario, because I got 2 movement cards. One where we can actually be purchasing a home or getting a new home in a new area, and 6 is leaving, physically moving. Maybe not buying a house or purchasing, but definitely getting in a transportation of some kind and going. So maybe you have to travel for work. I'm not sure. Now, 39, the dice, and that's that risk. We need to take a risk. And this is under the line of pentacles here. We might have a job that is creating havoc here, and we might have to change jobs. Okay, I'm in the sex side, so I'm kind of like lost here. All of a sudden things are looking different, like a different energy. So I'll continue on with the sex side under the 9 of Swords, which is the mirror, which is having someone that reflects back to you lessons, and you kind of are at the same rate in learning. What we get on the sex side is the 4 of Pentacles, and there it is. That's the boredom card in the bedroom, okay? One person's interested, but the other person's like, I'm not interested. Not tonight. You have any Advil? That kind of thing. We're not feeling it. One person's wanting, but the other person's not. So there's a disinterest here on one end. Now on top of the 8 of Canes, we get the Hermit. So someone is kind of walking away. I don't want to say walking as much as receding themselves away from the physical side of things. So we're bringing ourselves out of the physical side of this relationship, and we're really having fun with friends and going out and doing things, and we're not being so much on the intimate side of things. Now, I remember they're making me think back in the day when I gave reading. I don't know how long ago it was, but they're going, we do have some sexual triggers going off here, and there's a shutting down. We're slowing right down to a crawl, and pretty soon the doors are going to be locked. So something triggered someone in a sexual way, and I feel like it's very well could be the Cancer female in the couple relationship. She's been triggered by something, and then I feel like unbeknownst to her partner, no less, that is really just kind of, yeah, I have no interest in that anymore. And it may be because they're going, there may be some hormonal things going on here, or we may be just going through a phase, a seasonal phase where it'll pick back up later, or there's something like that where we're just kind of floating back, not wanting to be on the intimate side so much anymore. It's just not feeling right. I just don't want to indulge, and that's it. So there's a bit of that being felt on the other side of the partnership. Now under the 6, the leaving and the moving, we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, and when I laid that, man, there was an energy that came off that was just that pampering from a male, like a male that wants to pamper and like brush her hair and rub her back, like really attentive, soft, passionate, not even passionate, just soft and tender, taken care of. So I feel like maybe that's what's going on here, is we don't have that softer side coming into the relationship, and we're really feeling like we need it, but we don't want to ask for it. We don't feel like we should have to ask for it yet. We don't know how's the partner going to know, da da da. So there's something going on here I get from heavy from the King of Cups here, and it's all about movement. All under the movement part, all under the confusion. Starts out with a confusion, instinct, move, and cups, and emotions. So I'm going to move on to the 5 of Cups, which is the squabbling card and arguments and fights and whatnot. And I get the 7 of Wands, and there we go. Okay, there it is. So what's going on here is we're having some petty arguments, and it's really turning off the Cancer female. She is shutting down physically because of some emotional triggers that have gone off, emotional arguments that have not been quite settled to the degree that they feel like they want to tune in on a physical level anymore. They just are toning out. And the thing is here, oh man, I'm feeling it so sympathetically. We have a partner, we got a bit of a jaded aspect here. Well, that's only once is this and that, and I'm getting sick of this and that and da da da. So this is kind of the cycle that's running through this person's brain. But on top of that, it's there's a sense of squabbling here because it's a high stress time for this Cancer female. She's looking to solve some problems here. I feel like there's a lack of the partner to know what to do or how to support her with it. So on that level, she's feeling unattended to. That's where it starts. 2, she goes in the bedroom. She's not feeling all in. Why? Because she's unattended to. That's 2. Then we go further and we're starting to squabble because we don't want to go out and tell exactly, because sometimes we don't even know exactly what's wrong, or we can't pinpoint it because we don't sit long enough, or we're not thinking about it, or we're just annoyed and we don't want to deal with it and we're avoiding the issues. And this is kind of the scenario I'm getting here, is we're losing our interest sexually in our partner because we're having little fights. And why are we having fights? Because I'm stressed and I got to make a decision here and I can't see a clear way, and I don't want to trust my instinct because I don't know what that is yet. And I got high tension and it's coming out on the partner. The partner's going, that's okay, we can make it up in the bedroom. And they're like, no, that's not my thing. I don't feel like that right now, right? So it seems like there's a base here that's heavy duty. We got love. We got, you know, we're full to the brim too, but this is a rough time mentally, I think, for the Cancer female. She is really trying to take a lot in mentally, intellectually. She's trying to juggle a lot of stuff in her mind. So outside of her, you know, people may think, oh yeah, she's doing great, wonderful, because she can be a great pretender in that way. But on the same tone, there's a lot going on underneath the surface, and the male's just not picking up on it, and she's not bringing it to the forefront to lay it out on the table, say, look, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm thinking about, this is what I'm stressing about, because she don't want to stress him, but in the meantime, he's stressing her back because he doesn't understand. So it's all a big loop, but nonetheless, I feel like it's harmless enough, but at the same time, it's going to cause a wedge here over the winter. Now, they're giving me a sense here that this may be in flux. So this may be just a low key, and we'll get back up on track, and we'll get our spunk back and want to spark that thing up in the bedroom, you know, and get moving. But for now, it's just, there's no motivation there, okay? We're feeling our partner's not inspiring us in the right ways, and we're being annoyed by that, and it's not hitting the right buttons. So instead of you know, lighting things up, it's shutting things down. So that's what's really going on here. And the 7 of Wands is where it ends. Is really got to watch that one, because when we get the fight card on top of it, that's really kind of using sex to heal things when we're very uncomfortable with that. And that's, when we get into that mode, it's dicey. So all I can say is to try and be as open and honest with your partner as you instinctively feel you can, to help you move forward. Because I feel like the disclosure, you may not be able to compute it, but it's an answer. It's better than nothing at all. And his mind going off in directions where he doesn't, where he's making things up, right? And then it creates a bigger wedge because, well, what is she doing? Where's she getting all this affection? Blah, blah, blah. You know, mine's going weird ways all of a sudden. You know, when there's a dry spell, it's like, whoa, da, da, da. Suddenly everybody's suspecting everything, right? And I think what's going on here is we do have a dry spell, and it's, for the most part, I feel we're not feeling supported emotionally and tenderly. Like, they're showing me little tasks throughout the day, little things that the partner does, little touches on the back as you walk by to get your coffee, little connections. These are not happening, and it's being felt, and it's being exacerbated to a degree where it's starting to affect her. She can't respond in the bedroom. It's not feeling it. Has to be, for a woman, it has to be brought out through the caring and affection part. Through a man, it has to be brought out through the sexual act. And you know, there's a little bit of a discrepancy there that loses translation when we get together. It loses it. If we're not on the same vibe, man, we could just, you know, and this is not vibing the same way for this Cancer female. She's disjointed in a sexual capacity, does not feel or is not motivated to make things feel that way, and is losing her patience with the partner that is kind of coming back and trying again, but not giving reasons. So I feel like if you give reasons, at least, you know, he may not take that in. And I feel there's a resistance there to understand or deal, or, you know, he's still going to, but at least it's an answer and it's your truth. And that's all you can do is state that, right? So I feel like a bit of a, over the winter, it's going to be a little bit of a rough spell, but nonetheless, there might be a move or a shakeup in either career or house, home. We might be selling and moving. I don't know. There's something here, or thinking of doing that, right? Because the Seven of Cups could also be thinking about doing things, right? But yet there's movement. We're going to be moving, but to what degree? We have to make some decisions before that comes down the line, and I feel like that's on the greater part of after Christmas. Either before Christmas or after. They're going, no, could be just before or just after. And after that, it's the energy is going to kind of, it peaks over the month of December, and then it just kind of goes downhill after that. So we'll either stay or, you know, shack up and go, pack up and go, right? So that kind of a thing. So there might be a situation like that where there's a job offer or an opportunity or something that is outside. So that's interesting for the Cancer female. So yeah, so the coupled. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's horizontally. So we're going to go vertically, rip this apart, and I'll review, and we'll go over. Okay, so the Ace of Cups, there's a lot of love here. I mean, there's a good base. And not only that, each individual has a good strength of individuality within the relationship. So there's no codependency here, but still there's a want to connect. How do I say? That's wrong. There's a want to be in the relationship, but not a want to be in the sexual part of it at this time. That's it. So the Ace of Cups is just saying, you know, we both have a lot of feelings, love here, and it's all good. And then underneath that, we have the Three of Cups, which is celebrations. You know, we're going out, we're meeting people and socializing and having fun with that. Not wrong with that. And we can do that on our own or as a couple or whatever. It's all good and great and groovy. And 25 is about the merger. I feel like in the coupled relationship, we're talking about mergers. So we may be merging with other couples, celebrating with other couples, inviting other couples over, that kind of thing. It's all great and gravy. And then on top of that, we have the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is about your partner mirroring you. So they're going, yeah, take note of the fact that maybe there is something that we're going through that our partner can relate to on some level. It may not be a complete diving in and saying, yeah, I feel the same, but they may be able to relate in some way that actually expands the relationship forward. So be aware of that, of opening up to that, okay? They're going, yeah, there's a reluctance to do that, but that's, all we can do is give them the facts, Jack, and they can make a decision from there. So the Nine of Swords, that mirror, and then that's the romance side, right? So there's someone here that's mirroring, because they're going, yeah, it's not just when we're wanting affection, we have to look at our contribution to it as well. So when we get back on that horse and we decide we're gonna be intimate again in a way, or feeling like we want that, we got to watch how we go to our partner as well, because there's some hints there as to understanding how our partner reacts to us, because we are doing somewhat similar things in our own way. That makes sense. It'll make sense for someone. And then on the sex side, the Four of Pentacles, which is really someone coming at someone else, and there's a disinterest there. There's a feigning, you know, it's like, I don't know, I'm not all in. I'm not here, and in fact, I'm, you know, it's almost like they're in dreamland, and the other person's kind of trying to get things started, and it's not, the fire's burning, but nothing coming from the partner. So there's that. And then the next row is the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is the family and the home life. We do have a happy family. Overall, it's good and great and happy and wonderful. We may be in a mundane phase, but that's the baseline here, is the Ten of Cups. Now, Ace of Wands is about action and movement, and me seeing it as the swords, whatever. Um, now I'm getting that energy. It's like, yeah, it's the family. Through the family, we're going to figure out how to take action forward. Feel like we've gotten everybody else's opinion outside of the family. We're not taking high rank of our own instinct, but nonetheless, it's there. And I think through the family, we're going to come to a mutual decision of what to take action on. And then the 13 is about dreaming. So we may have some high flung ideas here that are a little um, out of the league, out of league. Like, so say we're thinking about selling the house, and then we start thinking about where we're going to go, and we're being all extravagant with it. There's nothing wrong with that. I am the biggest dreamer there is, so go hard. But the thing is that when it comes down to reality, is this practical? That's kind of the sense. So there's an innocence and naivety here that we could just, kind of go shack up on a tropical island and open up a little pub on the beach and that kind of thing. It's kind of like this is where our mind's going. It's going really flung out into weird areas because I think there's a bit of a stale mate here within the relationship. Now, diving back into the relationship, we get the Eight of Wands. So this is a karmically tied relationship. There's no two ways about it. We have the Ace, we have the 10, and all the stuff in between is kind of presumed it's there. And then the 8 is just symbolizing that someone's not feeling all in. I feel like it's the Cancer female. She's feeling depleted and not feeling supported in feeling that. It's kind of like it's coming at me like I'm not even refusing, or I'm not even, so that's bothering. There's a little bit of an edge there. And then on top of that, we get the Hermit, and that's what creates that situation where they're kind of hermiting away. They're getting in their crab shell and they're getting under the rocks, and they're going to stay there for a bit until they come out. And that's kind of a Cancer thing too, is we have our little reluctance to involve, and then we get our hermit time, and then we come back out and we're fine, So there's that sense of that cycle happening. So as we move on to the Seven of Cups, and that's about all these things, these ideas, these decisions that may be up in the air, things that we kind of can't nail down right now, right? And that's that mind going off in those directions, and the universe bringing in the High Priestess saying, take this into account. We got to use our instinct more because it does us better justice than taking in just knowledge or just, and we're not using the instinct, so we can't even go there. We're not even using the instinct. We're just putting it aside and using our logic, and that's not really going to put us in the nice, fluffy place that we want to be, when we're dreaming. This is where the instinct comes in. It's going to put us way up there, way, way above the rest, because we use our brain and we get contentment. We use our instinct and we get bliss. That's what they're saying. So that's what they want you to get, is the bliss. So let's use our instinct, hone that, so that in the future things will just line up quicker, faster. So on top of the High Priestess, we have the 17, which is the Storks, and that's that idea, There's movement here. There may even be babies being born. I didn't take that into account. We have a Page of Coins, which is an offer, something gifting forward. So there may be some births happening here, Why didn't I pick up on that the first time? But nonetheless, something that is drastic that's going to happen, that is life-changing. And then on top of that, 6 of Wands, which is the movement, actual physical move that has to happen. So there's 2 movement cards. There's something to do with a move here. We're either moving house, or, somebody's moving in, maybe. I don't know. And then on top of that, when we get into the intimate area, we get the King of Cups. And that's, there's a potential here for the partner to want to, I think, nourish that sensitive side. But I feel a reluctance for him to come forward. Why? 1, because he's not feeling the partner's really needing it, or whatever. And 2, because he may have not come from this before. Right? He's wanting, because they're showing me all this stuff, like, soft, tender, sensitive stuff that's going on between a couple that's not even just strictly in the bedroom. It's things like, brushing her hair and holding her hand, rubbing her hands, rubbing her feet, and rubbing her back, and just making her feel good in a softer, gentler way that really, I don't think she would understand that he would do that. But it's like the essence is there. But if we have not confronted our partner and said, you know, what I really need is a more sensitive side to you and not just the raw sex. I need sensitivity rather than the rawness, because I just don't feel like the act right now. I just feel like I just want to be held. And because they're showing me like touching the hair and, you know, because you do that and it's like goosebumps, right? And it's very relaxing. It's a very much a connection thing. And that's what they're showing me. This man's doing that to her, for her. Or there's an essence there of wanting that and not having it. Or there's an essence there from the partner of wanting to do that, but maybe not wanting to come forward for fear that he might be judged for it because it's different behavior than he's had. Something like that. So feel free to open up to the partner and suggest that, or if that is your mode, if that is what you're in the mood for. And I feel like this woman, she's just not on the physical end, not one. It's just hormone flux or no, whatever it is, it's just not there. You know, it's just a dip in the cycle and that's it. And until it comes back, we're just not going to go there. We don't want to be forced, right? So that's kind of the, I don't feel it's heavy in that way, but that's kind of the why she's backing off. She's starting to feel like she's got to give in here, and I just don't feel like it, so I don't want to. So we just have to express that a little highly, I think, not in the bedroom, outside the bedroom. When we're happy and joyful, say, you know what, I don't feel like doing this, but, you know, if you wanted to cuddle, we could do that, watch a movie, I'm great. That would do me good, better than the act itself. Because sometimes that's all you're wanting. You know, you're in the mode, you're not in the mode. You don't want to go through the act, but you want to be held, right? Sorry, guys, but that comes up. I'm sure that there's got to be guys out there. I know there's guys out there that want that. But nonetheless, so that is where we end up on that second last row. And then we get into the King or the Page of Pentacles. And that's about offerings forward. And that could also, you know, I'm seeing the stork here. He's not too far from that page. So it's bringing forward something of value, right? Knowledge, money, earnings, way you can earn money, you know, things, yeah, of worth to you that come forth, right? And then on top of that, we get the Page of Swords. So we have some contemplation here about that. And that's, I feel like, the big decision here. Could be about work, could be about money, could be about both, right? And it's a big decision and it's life-changing. And then on top of that, we have the 39, which is that, yeah, there's a big gamble here. There's a risk that we feel is could be dangerous. But nonetheless, we really have to, you know, tap into our instinct. We're not willing to do that, so it's really kind of dicey, literally. And then 5 of Cups is about struggle and strife. So through all of this, tensions are running higher in this Cancer female. She's feeling a lot of, you know, she's kind of zapping it out to her, you know, boyfriend, husband, whatever. He's getting the brunt of all this, so it's creating struggles. And we're not really explaining why we're feeling stressed out at all. Even though it's kind of in the air, it's out there, we know, but, you know, they're not feeling that the partner's feeling, oh, the partner can handle it. But the partner's kind of feeling stressed about it, not in trying to play the big guy, right? Big girl, and not letting anybody know. And that's causing havoc. And then on top of that, the 7 of Wands is it just doesn't get any better in the bedroom. We're just going to hold off on that for a while. So we're not feeling it on all levels, and we're stressed, and we're tensions high. And so that's the last place women will go to get solace. It's the bedroom. They have to get things figured out logically in that way outside of the bedroom, and then slowly, if they feel supported emotionally and tenderly, you know, that could bring that back. So tips for the partners of the Cancer or whatnot. I feel just over this time, I just don't push her. Just leave her be. she will come back on her own. It's like an elastic band. It just, it'll come back. She just needs that break away from it in order to appreciate it again, or get the drive back again, or get the perspective to make the decision so she can relieve all that stress, right? So that's where it sits. So heavy duty, the Cancer, man, she's pretty heavy and deep thinker about everything. So she's got a life-changing decision, man. She's not going to take it lightly. And this is what's going on. And she just doesn't want to make a mistake. So over the winter season, man, it's big stuff for her. So yeah, so the overview, the expansiveness. Yeah, we are needing to expand. They're going, we're needing to expand, but this is the decision we have to make in that area. We're afraid to take that jump. So on the left here, we got authenticity. We are trying to authentically, the way that we have in the past, come to the decision, though it is not the same energy field we were playing with when we made life-changing decisions before. And we have to understand this. Our instinct is highly valuable, and we need to dip into that field, make a decision. They're going, we really can't go wrong. It is just status quo or upper, showing me like the Jeffersons, moving on up, or that. And we have to come to terms with that decision, whichever way we decide to make it. Because there's really no lose here. There's just status quo, or we move up. And that's really what it is. So they're going there, simplified. Now make the decision. And then on the right side, we have individuation, which is this woman is really feeling like an individual in the relationship. And not only is her cup is full, so she can handle it, but she's really kind of, receding from the relationship in order to make sure that she makes, on all levels, she makes the right decision. She wants to know that she's in the right point of phase here. She's within her own rights to make up her own mind. And she's, like I said, she's really gathering from that field of friends and family and everybody. She's really looking outside and taking that all in. Still can't make up her mind, and is really thwarting the instinct away. No, we're going to use logic and common sense and da-da-da. But we have to take that into we have to at least take it into account to let it lean in a direction. And that's the risk that we got to take, and it's only up from here. So don't worry. Again, don't substitute, but feel it out. Feel your instinct out and know where it sits, because that's really the tester here. We don't want you to jump off in a direction to just crapshoot. We want you to go where you feel you need to go, and that's really something she's got to work more with. But they're going, we're going to have so many examples of that over the winter. So expect there to be more lighter decisions, but nonetheless more in the way to prove points here. What is instinct, what is not. So that seems to be the road here for the Cancer female in a coupled relationship. Man, these are heavy. Heavy stuff. So good luck making the decision. It seems like no matter where you go, you're really not gonna be able to gather enough information to come to a consensus the way that you want it to be solid, like all one, like 75% or more in this direction, then I'll make that decision. Not going to be that way. We have to bear our instinct in mind and take account of that. So for the winter season, over, Christmas, take care, be safe, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, take care, have fun, and be fun.